So this is our last lesson. Hey, yay. So we are going to do like a little introduction to JavaScript. We don't get really far into that because we actually have a JavaScript course. CIT 190 kind of picks up with JavaScript, and we learn jQuery. We learn how to use APIs. You'll learn how to create JSON and XML files, all sorts of cool stuff in that class. So this is designed to give you kind of a little taste of JavaScript. And then I'm also going to show you how you can utilize ChatGPT and how to use CSS properties. It's a little different way of using CSS. So in the JavaScript lecture demo, uh, this is fairly short, but I do have videos on each of the major sections because in order to use JavaScript, you do have to understand what variables are, how to create them. I give you some kind of simple interactive coding examples, and then also we go through how to modify CSS with JavaScript. And then, a couple fun things that you can do with buttons. Like you can display and hide things, you can change what's displayed, and all that kind of thing. Okay, so as you go through here, got lots and lots of examples, sample code, um, talk about the difference in JavaScript between a method and a function. And you'll notice that there are some live examples. And so feel free, if you click on those, you can see the example here, favorite brand of chocolate. Click OK, and it displays in the box. So all this kind of JavaScript magic, anytime you see anything that looks interactive, go ahead and click on it. Okay, so that is the lecture material. And then the second part of this is not something that you'll be required to do, but knowing how to use ChatGPT is quite helpful. And I encourage my students to use ChatGPT in two different ways. We use it the same way people in industry are using it, people out in the developer area. And the two ways that they are using it is to troubleshoot problems and to generate some starter code. And so that is exactly how I would like you guys to utilize it. Okay. And so as you go through here, I did do a video of this. And so first we talk about what custom properties are and how you use them. So it's kind of the same CSS that you've been using, but it is configured a little bit differently. Okay, so we talk about that. And then we get into, how would you use AI like ChatGPT? And so I've given you some examples of what I entered and then what it gave me. Okay, and where possible, I will actually take you to the web page that I generated from ChatGPT's response. So here was what I asked, and then here is what it gave me. So this is not bad. I mean, obviously, this over here is a problem, and this menu looks a bit wonky because it's vertical instead of horizontal. But this is not bad for starter code. Okay, so when you use something like ChatGPT, expect that you are going to have to make adjustments to the code. You almost never can use it as is. Okay, you always have to make adjustments, but it does save you a lot of time. Okay, so here are some of the other prompts I gave it, and then I'm showing you the code that it generated. While it's not perfect, okay, it is a pretty good start, okay, and it will save you a lot of time. Um, so the assignment for this week, there is only a textbook assignment because you have to incorporate some type of JavaScript into your term project. Okay, so all I've got for this week is a textbook assignment, and it's relatively short. Okay, so you will be, directed to complete very specific tasks. So you'll be creating new pages. This one requires two graphics, which I'm giving you to download. This is not interactive, okay? So it's a screenshot. But this is the code that you need to create that example. And then once you run it, you should be able to click the buttons and change the picture. Okay, so as you go through here, you'll get a little taste for, embedding JavaScript into the body of your page. You'll also get a little taste for creating an external JavaScript file, okay, and kind of linking that into your page. And then finally, we're going to create a couple different kinds of menus. So there's going to be a push menu and an overlay menu, and they are very similar. Okay, so just some of the CSS is different. So there are instructions on how to create that as well. And that's pretty much the entire assignment. So it shouldn't take you a long time to complete. So you should have plenty of time to work on exam number 2, okay, which does not have a time limit. Let me see. It should be open book, open note. The format of the questions are to help you prepare for your certification test. Each question is 1 to 2 points. There are 34 questions. Total points is 40. The focus is on chapters 8 through 12. And you can take the test a maximum of 3 times, and your highest score is going to be recorded. I've set this up so that each time you take the test, you're only going to see the questions you missed. And a lot of the questions have multiple parts. So it could be that you missed one section of the question and you got the other part correct. Okay, but you're not going to be able to see the right answers, but you are going to know whether you got the question right or wrong. Okay, so that is exam 2. And then the last thing for this week is to create a Certiport account. And if you already have one, all you have to do is log in and take a screenshot. And if you do not have one, you'll go to the website and you're going to create an account. Do not purchase any vouchers. What you need is a username and a password. And so you're just going to do enough to create that username and password. You have to memorize those because you need to know them when you go in and take your certification exam at the testing center, because the testing center is not going to know what your username and password are. If you don't know them, they're going to turn you away and reschedule your test. So make sure you know them. Once you create the account, you're going to do a little screenshot that should look something like this. Okay. And if you have an account, log in and do the screenshot. And what I'm looking for is, your name up here. That indicates that you've logged in. Okay. And submitting the screenshot is worth points. Okay. And so those are all of the assignments that are due on the 20th. As far as the term project goes, that will also be due on the 20th. And so make sure you go through the checklist and that you add all of the features. You are going to have a JavaScript component. So if you are starting with one of the lab exercises, from lesson 11. You're going to have a lot of these requirements already. What you're probably not going to have, you may not have a menu, so that may be something you have to add. You are not going to have a JavaScript event handler or function or method. That you will have to add. Okay, but I have lots of examples. In fact, if we go back here, I actually did some videos of how you can add JavaScript to your project. There's several different videos um, designed to give you guys ideas. Okay, so if you're at a total loss, like how the heck am I going to do this? Watch those videos because they will definitely help. Um, so that's something that you're going to have to add. You also need an icon bar. Okay, so the icon bar is going to have to be styled. So adding the icon bar and styling it are worth points. The styling points are listed later on. And so if you go through this, you will notice here's a Google font or a custom font. That might be something you have to add. You may also have to add CSS 310 transition or animation effects. If you do the icon bar, chances are you're going to have a transition. Okay, so you might, be able to meet both of those requirements with the same thing. Okay, and then in your print CSS, I've got the requirements listed for that as well. Make sure you have a link to that term project in your assignment page because I check for that. And more importantly, make sure that you test it live, okay? Because a lot of people transfer it and they never look at it. Some graphics might not be showing. Maybe your CSS isn't working. You're not going to know unless you test it live. Okay? So super important to do that. So your final project is due. So you will submit a link to the term project or just submit done to the Dropbox. And then you also have to post to the project showcase. Once the posts are made, you do have quite a while, a couple weeks to, take a look at your classmates' projects. What you need to post is a link to your final project, and you do need to upload your slideshow video. And those requirements are right here. Okay, so you're going to have to do a slideshow. If you don't have PowerPoint and you choose to use Google Slides, you are not going to be able to create a video. So you will just have to add a link to your Google Slides, and you will have to make sure that you have shared them because if they're private, nobody can see them. Okay, so as far as the slideshow goes, I would take each of these talking points and put them on a separate slide because as you can see, there are points for each one. And then if you're using PowerPoint, you can actually convert it into a video. And once you have the video, you can upload it to the discussion, and these directions kind of walk you through how to do that. Okay, so posting yours is worth points, and reviewing your classmates is also worth points. Okay, and so you want to make sure you get yours posted by the 20th. And the reason I have the project and the showcase due by the 20th is so that you guys can focus on studying for that certification exam. Okay. And that's also the reason that the peer review is not due until the end of the semester. Okay. Because once you get this project done and you have posted to the showcase, I want your full attention to be on the certification exam because I want you to do well. And so that is what we are working on this week, kind of a busy week, but the JavaScript assignment should not take you that long. Okay, it's designed to be a little bit easier. If you run into problems, your JavaScript isn't working, um, please reach out. I don't want you to spend a ton of time on that. I can easily help you figure out what the problem is and tell you how to correct it. Okay, so please let me know. I'm happy to help, and I hope you all have a great week.